Wow. Listen, are we going to blame black men? What do you think? The most educated women on the planet, black women, not surprised. You got to go out there and get it for yourself. But at the same time, a high rate of homelessness. And they say black women have the highest rate of homelessness in the country. Yeah, I beg to differ. I don't believe it. It ain't true, folks. I think, and it is what it is, I think the highest rate of homelessness is going to be black men. Why? Because a lot of the black women are housing black men. It is what it is. It is what it is. And some men will see their mom struggle and they'll either they expect the wives or baby mama girlfriend to struggle because mama did, or you'll find the rare fit that's like, hey, my mom struggled, I don't want that. So they may turn around and be a man. But guess what? That's not for the majority from what I see in the community. Let's listen to this clip. Are black men to blame for the high rate of homelessness among black women? And I want to know, what do you think? What do you think about this? Are black men?
Not us black women out here homeless. I mean, I said I wasn't gonna say anything else, but this is the comment. Every day, somebody homeless with their kids can't pay their rent in the shelter, begging for money.
And hold on, is she sitting up here smirking? It's like she's Are you really serious? Maybe it's just me, but are you really smirking? It's giving male validation. Validate me. I'm on your side, black man, which you can be. But it's like, are you really smirking at that? Oh, let's continue. Little mama, set her straight. Please go ahead and set her straight. Here we go. We're going to go ahead and get you served up real nicely.
And that's funny to you? What it sounds like is that the black mothers are the parent who stayed. The ones in the shelters with their children are the parents who are actually there for that child.
Yep.
Where are the black fathers? Where are the fathers of those black children in the shelter? Let's ask the real question here. Instead of shaming and laughing and finding joy in the fact that there are black women in shelters with their children, let's ask, why as a community do we have a bunch of black women in shelters with their kids? What does that tell you about the men in our community if there's such an epidemic of black women in shelters with their black children? But you see, it's never about fixing the issues in our community. It's all about shaming black women for things that black women are affected by the actions of black men. Then she goes on to say that black women are so materialistic and all they're buying is bags, and that's why they're getting evicted. When in reality, a lot of black men can't hold leases due to felon charges or because they don't have the income that their women do. A lot of men are homosexuals laying up with women in their apartments. Their mothers, their aunties, their grandmothers, their baby mamas, their wives, these men are laying up under women's leases and not contributing. Because if they were contributing as men should and providing and protecting their families, we wouldn't have all these black women with their black children in shelters. But no, we never want to ask, where are the black men? Where are the fathers? It took two to make that child. Riddle me that.
Exactly. A lot of these men are where? Living with the women. That's the norm because we're led by a patriarch. And it's not like we're handing down generational wealth, handing down generational trauma. And then with this economy, the little part people had, it's hanging on by a thread. But the question, she said, a lot of black women are where? In shelters with their kids. Oop! They're in shelters where? With who? With their kids.
Black women out here.
Where's the man? Oh, he's been gone. Oh, he's been gone. That's why she's sitting up there in the shelters with her kids.
Black women out here homeless. I mean, I said I wasn't going to say anything else, but this is the comment. Every day, somebody homeless with their kids can't pay their rent in the shelter, begging for money.
Oh, every day. So with their kids, huh? I wonder how many it takes to put a child or two. Every day, somebody out here in the shelter, homeless with their kids begging for money. Well, maybe if the father was involved in the child's life and didn't create a fatherless home, maybe, just maybe, they wouldn't be in the shelter. Maybe if he was, like the lady said, a provider, a contributor to the well being of his child, guess what? She'll be in that circumstance. Maybe, let's say it didn't work out and they got a baby mama, baby dad situation. Maybe, just maybe, riddle me this. Maybe, just maybe, if the father realized, okay, the mom's having a hard time and paying child support, I tell you what, you and I didn't work out. I would at least come and get my child. So maybe, just maybe, if the father realizing the mother's facing homelessness, if he came and picked up his child, guess what? I bet she wouldn't be there. What you want to bet? How much money do you think she has spent on the child or children from the time they were doing okay, from the time they got to the homeless shelter? Add that up, the missing paycheck. Raising kids, you can easily come up and say, it went okay. Okay, so from when you gave birth to the point that you're at the homeless shelter, how old is your child? How much money has been spent? How much money has the father contributed? How much money has the father contributed? Zero. That's why she's in that homeless shelter. That's why she's on the struggle bus right now. That's why. She's having to pick up his slack. Yeah. Add up. How old is a child? How much money has been spent? Christmas, holiday shoes. We're not talking about just food and all that, necessities. Extracurricular activities. Taking a child here and there. Clothing. I want this. I want that. Let's add up the sweat equity in parenting. Get up in the middle of the night because little Megan's tummy hurts. Little Kiki has a headache. Oh, Jamal fell and he hurt himself. Got to change that bandage. Let's add in the sweat equity. You don't get paid for that. Now add all of that up. A 5-year-old, 7-year-old, 10-year-old. Add all of that up. The sweat equity and the financials. When you add all that up, where's his contribution? Zero. That's why she's in the homeless shelter. That's why. Fact number 2, why don't he come and come pick up his child? Because if that's the case, the children would be with their father and would be in a homeless shelter. The painful reality, they don't want those kids. That's what. He's not there. He doesn't care unless he's deceased or in jail or out of the country. You can't send provisions. So why are they sitting up? Again, let's add up all the money spent on raising children. Now let's add up the sweat equity. Add all of that up. You come up with tens of thousands and sometimes 6 figures. But let's just say on the average, tens of thousands of dollars.
I mean, I said I wasn't going to say anything else, but this is the comment.
And the comment she's referring to, it says, we love talking about how we the most educated, but not how we the most evicted. You're the most evicted because most of you got kids by who? You're the most evicted because guess what? The man is not there because the man don't care. He not only doesn't care about you, doesn't care about his own children. That part right there. See, there's one aspect that Black women have not been educated in, and that is the shaky foundation of the community. Having children by the dust buckets, having children by low vibrational men. And in this case, we're talking about Black men, because it happens the same thing with white men, you name it. Some of these people get older. I want my kids. Hey, why isn't Becky and Tom coming? Becky and Tom not coming because you weren't there for them. And now because you're old, looking half dead, whether you have 2 or 3 teeth in your head, they got their own lives. They don't want to be bothered. Why isn't Becky coming? She's sick of your ish that you dished out when you were younger. See, now you old. Oh, come on, Becky. Daddy needs you now. She's sick of your ass, buddy. She's sick of your ass, okay? And she ain't coming. Get over it. Why? You really weren't there for her. You did some phone. You did phone call parenting. Ooh, yeah. But you were off living your life. Kids aren't coming. So why isn't a dad there? He doesn't care. It's not coming. That's why the women are in the shelters with the children. That's why they're up in there, homeless.
Every day, somebody homeless with their kids can't pay their rent in the shelter, begging for money. They look like me.
And so how do the women get those kids? They're begging. How many of those women are taking care of a man? I've seen women and heard of one in particular. I was like, you got to be kidding. And then I found out what I heard was true because she later on called me. Some of them, these women in the circumstance, they have been taking care of these men. And when things get hard, joke or run. Always have a stash somewhere. When things get hard, where is he? Stop and think. There has to have been a man somewhere. I've seen women. It's like, whoa, whoa, whoa. How you got a baby? Is this a 3 month old or 6 months old? Where little two-year old come from? It's been a man somewhere. Now things have gotten bad. He's gone. Make it make sense.
And that's funny to you? What it sounds like is that the black mothers are the parent who stayed. The ones in the shelters with their children are the parents who are actually there for that child.
Exactly.
Where are the black fathers? Where are the fathers of those black children in the shelter?
If he's really caring, why can't the dad just come pick up their child so they won't be in the shelter? And then maybe mama can go somewhere and stay with someone. He's not coming. That man is not coming. So if you add up the financials, sweat equity of raising a child on your own, now let's add that up. What has been the father's, what's been his contribution? You can easily add up about 30,000 on a 3-year-old. Don't add daycare. Whew. So add all that up that the women have been spending. One little job loss, you're on your own. Where's the father's contribution? Zero. You've been paying and playing both roles. Mom and dad, physically and financially. And so then a bump in the road, no, your reserves get used up. You know what happens. But we don't talk about that. Again, if the man cared about the kids, you come pick them up. So they won't be in a shelter. Come and pick up your children.
That's the real question here. Instead of shaming and laughing and finding joy in the fact that there are black women in shelters with their children, let's ask, why as a community do we have a bunch of black women in shelters with their kids? What does that tell you about the men in our community if there's such an epidemic of black women in shelters with their black children? But you see, it's never...
Now, if there is an epidemic of black women in shelters with their children, it says a lot about the community. What's that saying? You can tell the wealth of a culture and how it treats its women. I digress. What does it say? That it's fractured and it has to be fixed. And it can only be fixed by having the painful, unnecessary, uncomfortable conversations and facing the reality and try to come up with a solution. That part. What does it say? Again, it's very simple.
What does that tell you about the men in our community if there's such an epidemic of black women in shelters with their black children?
It lets you know by now. Go ahead and play. If you want to go ahead, if you're child free, go, I'm going to go baby mama style. How many examples do you need? Even in these marriages, I don't care what nationality, the women always what? With the kids. With the kids. And then some are doing a new thing. Hey, you know what? Let the father have them. Here you go. I've seen them. Doesn't matter what nationality. Black women, Caucasian women. Here you go. Give them back to the dad. Uh-oh. What is it? Is that Jamal's daddy? Is that Tom's daddy? Uh-oh. Here comes Senior TT and Brad. What? They want to get those children back. What's the problem? See, they had the easy part is paying the money. And so the greed, I'll raise a child. I'll take my son and raise him myself. Make it like, bye. Ladies, wait a minute. One woman said her husband, after 10 days, he was done. He wanted to bring the child back. Say what? 10 days, y'all. Not 10 months. 10 days. You can handle it. This is your seed, man. Let me guess, you probably realized just paying that little money was the least of it. Now you got to get this child up, clothing and feeding it off to school, homework, laundry. Can't sit up, come home and drink beer and watch TV. Yeah, watch my game. Yeah. Dad, I'm hungry. 10 days, it couldn't last. So this right here, it is what it is. But it's a good point. The question is, can we blame black men for the high rate of black women being homeless and in the shelter with kids? Of course, because they have to create the kids. And if you're not being a father, not participating, you're a contributing factor. And that is why women, you got to realize, educate yourselves. I don't care how much love it is, it can change. Life is business. You'll be a lot better off when you see it that way. Marriage is business. You'll be a lot better off when you see it that way and handle accordingly. I'm just letting you know. So yeah, are black men, they're a contributing factor. So where are the fathers? Let's add up the age of the child, how much money has been spent, how much money should he have contributed to the child, how much money has he contributed. So then let's add up the cost, add in some money for sweat equity. That's why they're in the homeless shelter with the kids. Why is he not there? Some of them, they're not all incarcerated. Some of them sitting up in the same city. Why can't the man come and just pick up the kids to make sure they're not in a homeless shelter? That's what I want to know. It's real simple. Okay, come get the kids. What they say? Come get the children. Come get the kids out of the homeless shelter. Because it is what it is when it comes to these men. Black, white, green, purple, yellow. The fathers are not there because they don't care. So yeah, the real question, are black men to blame for some of this? It's a hell of a contributing factor. You want to bet?
Of black women in shelters with their black children. But you see, it's never about fixing the issues in our community. It's all about shaming black women for things that black women are affected by the actions of black men.
Yep.
Then she goes on to say that black women are so materialistic and all they're buying is bags and that's why they're getting evicted.
No.
When in reality, a lot of black men can't hold leases due to felon charges or because they don't have the income that their women do. A lot of men are homosexuals laying up with women in their apartments.
And a lot of women, again, they're taking care of these men. That's money going out. So then when things get harder, guess what? He might just leave. How much money you spent? So it's decisions that are made by both. But we cannot negate the fact that the men are a contributing factor. Why can't they just come and get their kids? That's what I want to know. Black women in homeless shelters, they're there with who? They're with their children. Yes, the men are a major contributing factor. Let me know what you all think. Thanks for watching. Feel free to comment, like, subscribe, and share them out.